For those who haven't read the book yet, why don't you catch us up on what the process of change looks like?
So there are basically 5 steps in the process, and it's the same every time. Now, here's what's interesting. Content's always different. You're changing in your business, you're changing in your personal life, you're changing in your health. You're always changing. Mm-hmm. The content's different, but the process is always the same, and this is what has really taken the world by storm. So, step 1, or point A, really, is you have no desire to change. You're in your comfort zone. You don't know what you don't know. In some business acumen, they use conscious, unconscious, incompetent, right? So it's that phase. It's bliss. Ignorance is bliss. That's where that comes from. Point B is that point where you start what do you got over there? Like, what has he got? I want that. So that becomes the point where you become conscious of your incompetence. Mm-hmm. So you don't know it now. And that's what drives your desire. So that desire is open. And then comes the part nobody really enjoys, which is trying to find the model that gets the result, the result you want. And so we try and we fail. And that was the first book. Yep. My first book was The Secret of Successful Failing, and it's all about that part of the curve. Okay. Up, down, right? Edison said, I didn't fail. Right. I found 10,000 ways that successfully did not produce light. Right. Get it?
So this is I want to lose weight, so I'm dabbling with the gym, I'm dabbling with diet stuff, I don't know this world, I'm trying this stuff out.
Right. Okay. But until you stand on the scale and see the result, or until you double your income, because that was your goal, or on whatever, until you close the deal, produce the behavior, you're stuck in that point. We lovingly refer to it as hell, because a lot of people live their lives in hell, because they get to 3 failures, 7 failures, whatever their limit is, and they go, I want to go back to the way it was. Mm-hmm. And so they try to pretend like they don't want it anymore. Right. And so they go back to the way it was, and they go back. And then one day they're sitting there and they're like, and they got to go for it again. Right. And so they go, and they get closer, and they end up in that hell. And so point C on the chart is really, it's the point where you actually produce the behavior you intended to produce. Okay. It's success, everything, and I mean it, and I am like a dragon when it comes to this point, because that's conscious competence. Okay. You got it, you did it, you learned how to drive, whatever it was. Right. Whatever you accept as success at that point becomes the program model. And then from point C to point D is the process of mastering the program. Right. So if you accept mediocrity at point C, you will master mediocrity and lock it in. Mm-hmm. And when it gets to point D, it locks in to the unconscious mind, and it runs automatically. So the little guy inside of you goes, okay, check that off the list, put that in the bank, and every time we need to produce that behavior, pull it out and run it like it is. Right. So if you've built mediocrity into that, it will run it the same way over and over and over again.
It's really interesting. So what I'm hearing then is that at point B, you identify that there's something that you want to achieve, accomplish, grow towards. My understanding from and this is a really cool take on it, is that as you work your way towards point C, you can define point C at sort of wherever you feel it fits on your way down, right? So if you get halfway there but go, that's good enough, and start mastering that, then you haven't actually achieved what you wanted to, but you're not moving towards mastery or towards that point, you're moving back up towards another plateau.
Good enough, right? Some of them. Right. So a couple of dangerous words in business. Mm-hmm. Good enough. Yep. And I already know that.
Right, perfect.
People say to me, what do you do? And I go, I use a little bit of this, I use some NLP, I do a little, they go, I already knew, I read a book about that in 1981. How's that working for you? Right? And the thing is this, that's my favorite phrase. Right. I have no judgment. I don't think you should do anything. I honestly don't. Okay. I don't think you should double your business, I don't think you should, whatever people say they want, I don't think you should lose weight, I don't think anybody should do anything. Right. When they tell me what they have or what they want, I just go, how's that working for you? Right. Is it working for you? Right. If it's working for you, who the hell am I to tell you? Right. But if it isn't working for you, consider maybe there's some things you don't know. Sure. And so in the graph, so
towards mastery,
point C is breakthrough.
Yep.
C, right? It's conscious competence.
Right.
C is the breakthrough. Most people get stuck between point B and point C. Right. So what am I doing right now? I am traveling literally the world, teaching people how to accelerate the breakthrough. Okay. So how do you shorten B to C? Because nobody enjoys it. Right. We want to get on. We want to get on with it, and so and because of it's interesting. I'm pulling engineering out of the recesses of my mind. Right. But I learned how to, like, I know how to accelerate that breakthrough point. And so I'm teaching people the key, and it's not hard. Like we talked about this before the interview. There's only 3 things you have to do.
All right, so this is a value. Listen up, this is important.
There's only 3 things you have to do. Now, they sound ridiculously simple.
Yep.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. You're not at one of my talks right now, so you can't see the cool little exercise we do to illustrate the difference between simple and easy.
Okay.
Okay? So something that is simple, people disregard as being invaluable,
right.
But it's not easy.
Right.
Most things in life are actually simple, and the reason why we don't have what we want in life is we're not willing to do them.
Okay.
So, that being said, the 3 things are you have to focus on what you want.
Yep.
So, and people go, ugh. No, look, you can pretend you're focusing on what you want.
Right.
You can say, it's January, so it's great time to talk about weight loss is on everybody's mind in January,
sure.
right? A little too many whatever tarts. So people always say to me in January, and, oh God, we have such a stigma language, right? Like we've got it down. So this is, I'm going to be so fit in I'm going to be so fit. So that's what they're saying.
Right.
I'm doing a cleanse. A cleanse is a diet,
right.
by the way. It's
yes,
just a new
absolutely.
word for a diet.
Yes.
And back in the day, we used to call them diets. Now we call them cleanses. They're just diets. Mm-hmm. So it does just say a diet. Okay, fine. Like, I'm going to be fit, they say. Mm-hmm. But they're not actually focused on being fit. They're focused on not being fat, chubby, whatever. The focus, see where they're actually focused. And by focused, I mean, where is the attention?
Yeah.
Is the attention on fitness? Like, oh, I love being fit. Oh, I love the gym. I love getting up early. Right? Or is the focus on, oh God, I just got to go so I'm not huge.
Right.
Oh God, right? Oh God, I can't eat this because I don't want to. See, but when you're talking to someone at a party, they're not going to say, yeah, you know what? This year I don't want to be fat.
Right.
They don't say that.
No, exactly.
So they pretend they're focusing on what they want.
Right.
But they're not.
Okay.
Okay? So I can pick that out.
Focusing on
I can pick it out. By the way, I
I
can pick it out in 5 minutes of conversation.
Okay.
Because I can tell you how to, it's very simple. Do you want the little trick on how to know what you're looking? Okay, so here's what you do. So we'll do it like live demo.
Perfect.
Okay, so ready? So let's pretend this is the arena of what your results in your life in this room. Okay, so let's just pretend that this is metaphor, right?
Yes.
Okay, so here's how you check on what you're focusing on. Okay, ready? Close your eyes.
Yes.
Okay, open your eyes and look around and take stock at what you literally have in your life. And that's what you focus on.
Okay.
Because we get what we focus on. The little dancing bear video that is
yes.
already on my talks.
I'm going to throw up a link to that if you don't know what
yeah,
we're talking
totally.
about. Awesome.
Yeah, and it's on my site too, and
Perfect.
people love it. See, the thing about that is, that video says it's easy to miss what you're not looking for, but on the flip side is you get what you're looking for. You will find it,
Right.
100%. In fact, we could do a little, people are watching this right now, we could do a quick little, like, here, do this if you're not driving a car.
Right.
Just
shouldn't be watching the video if you're driving your
No.
car.
But in this room, even in this room alone, Chris, watch this.
Yes.
So find everything that's red and make a mental map.
Yep.
See all the red?
Yeah.
Do you notice how it just pops out at you now? You're like, oh my God, it's over there and it's on the wall. Okay?
Absolutely, yeah.
Now, close your eyes and I'm going to ask you to reproduce where is the red in the room. Everybody should be doing this. Okay? So I'm going to ask you to tell me accurately where it is.
Okay.
Okay, but before you do that,
Yes.
tell me where the blue is. Okay?
Yeah.
Now here's the thing. Open your eyes. Have a look around.
Yeah.
There's blue on the cover of the book. There's blue in the market.
Absolutely.
It's everywhere.
Yeah.
But in order to find red, your reticular activating system blocks out everything that's not red. It only does 2 buckets at a time. What you're looking for and everything else.
Right.
So red, not red. Problem,
Yeah.
not problem. Right. So if you're focused on a problem, it's just going to find more problems.
Right.
Now, I'm not that person that says, don't pretend you don't have any obstacles, right? Remember, we were talking about this earlier, right?
Yeah.
Here's where you are now.
Yeah.
There's your next level.
Yeah.
That's an obstacle, right?
Yep.
Don't pretend you don't have obstacles.
Right.
So you say, okay, we got an obstacle. Where we are now, and next level is, kind of...
There's something in
there's
between.
yeah.
Sure.
Great. But then what you need to say is, what's the solution to our obstacle?
Okay.
And then your reticular activating system will look for solution. Solution, not solution. Solution, not solution. So it'll look for it. So that's focusing on what you want. You absolutely have to focus on what you want, unrelenting. Even when all the proof says you're not going to get it, even when your mom says you're not going to get it, your colleagues, right? People go, that's ridiculous. That's never going to happen. It's impossible. Whatever. You are in charge of your focus. No one else. So focus on what you want.
Yep.
Second one is you have to feel positive emotion.
Okay.
Now, some people say feel good.
Right.
Good's not a feeling.
Right.
So it's a label. So I actually say, no, you have to feel what you consider to be positive emotions. Now, again, people look at me like, of course you know. Yeah, but if you knew how many people don't, right? And let's think of the failure. So there you are in hell, B to C, right? Succeed or attempt, fail, attempt, fail, attempt. Every time most human beings fail, do they feel good?
No.
Right? They sink into the like, right?
Yeah.
By the way, that's the worst thing you can do because of what it does to your focus, what it does to your physiology, what it does to your performance. So Successful Failing, the first book that I wrote, was all about how to take the failure and flip it in the moment.
Yep. Awesome.
To feel good.
Yep.
Because the failure is actually the greatest thing that's ever happened to you. Now, think about it. Think about your triumphs in life. Mm-hmm. Were they from not failing, or were they from grinding out and then just boom, pop?
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yep.
So I do this, it's a total sidebar, but I'm sure a lot of people watching this have kids. I'm famous for my radio interviews and TV interviews about parents creating failureless environments. It's ridiculous.
Sure.
What you should learn how to do is stand back and let them fall face down in the mud.
Right.
Because, and your job is to be there when they get up, by the way,
yeah.
and support them, but not to prevent them from falling.
Agreed.
And so self-esteem doesn't come from never failing. It comes from being face down in the mud and deciding to get up. In that moment of decision, you actually discover you're made of what you thought more than you thought you were made of 5 seconds ago.
Yep.
But it's only when your back's against the wall, so to speak, or
Yep.
your face is in the mud.
Yep.
Now back to the chart,
Yes.
and this is something that is worth mentioning. So point B is when...
Wait, you got to give them that little trick for how to create that
I
positive
will.
emotion. Okay.
Oh, how to create the... Okay, yeah, okay. So there's a lot of tricks, but this is like a great one. Also, do not do this if you're driving.
Right. This works really well, by the way.
So look up
Yes.
and smile, big smile. And when you do that, that pushes the pause button in life.
Yes.
That doesn't change your situation. It doesn't fix your problem. But it pauses a negative emotional spiral because it pulls you out of your kinesthetic. So this is some of the NLP, the neuro-linguistic programming, right? So it pulls you out of your kinesthetic. So it pulls you out of being sunk. Think about when you're mad, you're always looking down.
Yeah.
So it pulls you out. And the smile is an anchor. And the anchor gives you resources because it gives you dopamine and endorphins and so on.
Yep.
And that gives you more physiological resources. So that's just like one tip. Obviously in the book there's a plethora
There really are. There's a
of
whole
tips.
bunch, yeah.
But positive emotion, right, is, in fact, the best way to have a positive emotion is to have a memory of a positive experience where you had a positive emotion that you constantly play.
Okay.
So it's your go-to memory.
Is it a relaxing, happy memory? Or is
It could be
overwhelming
anything.
or
So peace, love, joy. I was 7 at the zoo with so and so.
Sure.
The more times you relive it, not just remember it, but relive it, like get into it, like really feel it.
Yes.
You could even Pavlov's dog it and create an anchor.
Yes.
So you could create a fist bump or whatever.
Yeah.
That would help you elicit that feeling quicker. That's going to put you back in a positive emotion.
Okay.
So we're back to face down in the mud.
Yes.
So point B to point C is where you find the mud.
Yes.
Okay. So here's a little inside. This is like really, really juicy info.
Okay.
So we were talking earlier off camera about how when a baby learns to walk, it goes through this process.
Yes.
So at point B, it wants to learn to walk. At point C, it walks.
Takes the first couple steps.
But between B and C, it falls down 1,000 times.
Yes.
Okay, so that's the same. That's
Yeah.
the same. That's the process of change. See, but a 3-week-old baby has no desire
Right.
to walk.
Right.
And the reason is because the body is physiologically, neurologically not ready. It's not prepared. So point B doesn't happen until the neurology passes a checkpoint. Then point B happens. So a baby doesn't want to learn to walk until it's got all the ducks lined up ready to go.
Yep.
Then it's just a matter of connecting. So by virtue of the fact that you want something that you don't have, whatever it is, double your business, triple your business, start a business, lose weight, get married, whatever, that thing you desire, you already have the neurological capacity,
Right.
but you haven't the program.
Otherwise, you wouldn't desire it.
You wouldn't want it.
Okay. Yeah.
So The good news is, if you want it, you already have the capability to do it.
Cool.
Most people give up because they go, it wasn't meant to be, I'm not meant to have it, la 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 la. And they say, I say, oh, this is my favorite thing to say to business people. So, how many of you, and you think about this for you, wanted something badly, like some big business thing badly, gave it everything you had, like everything, leave it on the court kind of stuff, gave it everything you had and didn't get it, right?
Yep.
That happens all the time.
Sure.
And I got some news for you. That wasn't everything you had.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Looking back on it, sure.
So one of my buddies in the industry says, you don't give it everything you have. That's not enough. You have to give it what it takes.
Yep.
Which is different.
Sure.
Now I'm here to tell you that what you think you have and what it takes are actually the same thing. The issue is you don't think you have what it takes.
Right.
That's the problem.
Right.
So that you have to change your mind.
Yeah.
So you have to focus on what you want.
Yep.
This is how you change your mind. Your mind's not that complicated.
Right. Okay.
You have to focus on what you want.
Yeah.
You have to choose positive emotions.
Yes.
And by the way, this is hard to do. Try choosing a positive emotion when someone cut you off in rush hour when you're late for a meeting.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Okay? And finally, the final sort of thing is you have to have a physiology of excellence.
Okay.
Now, what does that look? Okay, it does not look like this, right? Like, not a physio. You don't get much done in this state.
Right.
So, up straight, so that energy can flow, so the blood can flow. So, chest open, not collapse, like head up, focusing on what you want, eyes open, ears open. Like I know that we should be fit, and people say we should work out and we should, go to the gym or whatever.
Sure.
And that's all great. But if you don't understand what the purpose of it is, what's the motivation?
Sure.
So I'm here to tell you that when your body runs better, less of your body's resources are spent cleaning up messes.
Yes.
Therefore, you have more mental capacity to create results.
Yep.
So the impetus for taking care of your body is not because some guru said so. It's because the better shape it's in, the less resources spent caretaking it.
Yep. That makes sense.
That's it.
Yep.
So you have to have a physiology of excellence.
Yep.
So lots of things you can do. Breathing, like whatever. I mean, this is not, I teach you some cool stuff, but really there are people
give
that...
Them something. Give them
well,
one.
like, so in business, because this is mostly business people,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
So in business, we get stressed.
Yep.
Okay. On the back cover of one of the books, it says, there's no such thing as stress, right? That's my famous line. There's
Right,
no
right.
such thing as stress.
Yeah.
And people go, ah! But first of all, you can't put stress in a wheelbarrow.
Right. Yes.
But it's a noun.
Yes.
You should be able to put a noun in a wheelbarrow.
Okay.
So that's weird,
A little bit.
because stress isn't actually a noun.
Okay.
It's a verb been frozen in time. So if stress is a verb, we call it a nominalization. This is the linguistic part of neurolinguistic programming. So we call it a nominalization, which means it's a verb, which means stress isn't something you have. It's something you
Experience.
do.
Do. Yeah.
Because a verb is something you do,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
So if stress is something you do, and people do it a lot, and it's not working for them,
Maybe we should do less of it.
how's that working for
Sure,
you,
right,
right?
yeah.
You get it?
Yeah, sure.
But first you got to get that concept.
Yes.
So people go, well, how am I supposed to do that? Okay, so when you were upset back in the day,
Yes.
okay?
Which was Wednesday.
As
by
a
the way.
child, right? Or whatever. And your grandmother would say, Chris, calm down and take a,
Breath.
what kind of breath?
Deep breath.
She would say deep breath, not fat breath,
Right.
a deep breath.
Yeah.
Okay, and she'd say count to what?
10.
Yeah. Okay, so there's your answer.
Perfect.
Because
Grandma had it first.
Grandma, literally, count to 10. So there are how many groups of 10 in 60 seconds?
6.
So what do you think an optimal breathing rate is to halt a stress response?
The math on that is escaping me right now. But
6 breaths
Sure.
per minute
Yes.
of a deep breath.
Yes.
Which means 1 breath in and out every 10 seconds.
Okay, yeah,
which is
sure.
what Grandma said.
Yeah.
Deep breath,
Yeah.
so that the lungs expand downward, which means the belly, so we call it belly breathing.
Yeah.
The belly expands out on the in-breath and collapses on the out-breath.
Okay.
6 breaths a minute
Yep.
for 1 minute
Yes.
halts any stress response.
Okay.
The stress
Amazing.
response that you're doing.
Yep.
See, no one's doing it to you.
Right.
See, your fight or flight's hardwired.
Yep.
That's fine.
Yep.
But you're in charge of stopping it if it's inappropriate.
Right.
The stopping it's not hardwired. Starting it's hardwired. Fine. Ah!
Right.
But then when it's not working for you, remember my one question, how's that working for you?
How's it working for you?
Yeah, people say, I can't fly, I'm afraid to fly. I go, oh, how's it working for you?
Right.
They go, well, I want to go visit my grandma. I go, okay, you got yourself a problem.
Right.
But if it's working for you, and lots of people don't fly.
Sure, yeah.
And it's not a problem.
Right.
And I have no issue.
Right.
But it's the ones who want something that they don't have, and they don't think they have what it takes to get it.
Right.
That's B2C.
Okay.
Okay. So, focus on what you
want.
Yes. Choose what kind of emotion.
Positive.
And have a physiology of
success.
excellence.
Perfect.
That's
Excellence,
it.
Yes.
Great. That's your mind under control.
Good.
In a nutshell.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there's one other thing.
Yes.
You have to actually get up off the chair.
Yes.
Where you're doing your focusing, feeling, and physiologying.
Yes.
And take action.
Right.
Like,
do that?
honest to God,
Yes.
in my industry, everybody thinks, oh, so if I just focus on what I want, by the way, this is all internal process.
Mm-hmm.
Like, think about it. People say, what's NLP? And one of my quick answers is, that's internal change for external results.
Okay.
So people go, great, so all I got to do is internal change?
Right.
Yeah, okay, so focus on what I want. Good. Choose a positive emotion. Have a physiology of excellence. Why don't I have what I want?
Right.
Because you didn't get up.
And actually do something.
Yeah, so you have to take action.
Right.
In fact, to borrow Tony Robbins' phrase, you have to take massive, insane action.
Yeah.
Because in point B to point C, you don't know what the program is yet. You don't know what the greatest way to do it is yet.
Yes.
So experimentation requires massive action.
Yeah.
You know, I'm sure Edison tried creating a light bulb with something that blew up in his face,
sure.
right?
Yeah.
But that's massive action.
Yeah.
So if you don't take massive action, then you don't have any results.
Right.
So, you know.
This is what I really like about the book, and so again, you got to read this book if you haven't done so since the last interview. I've sort of coined it the science behind the secret, right?
Yeah, sure.
I mean, the secret. I mean,
great.
that's the thing, right? It's great, but it focuses a lot on the internal processing and doesn't, in my opinion, get to the point of now you need to do something, right? And that's what this is about, and I think it's really powerful in that regard.
But I will say this: it's been 3 years since we did that first interview,
Yes.
and the secret's been around for a long time. So if you haven't seen it, for the love of God.
Yeah.
However, I think it's time we give the secret of the secret.
Okay.
Like the actual secret.
Are you gonna do that?
Yeah.
Oh, perfect.
So do you remember the movie?
Pieces of it, yeah.
Do you remember? So they actually gave the whole thing at the end of the movie written in the sand. Do you remember what it said?
No.
Should I tell you, or should I make them go watch it? It's written in the sand.
Okay.
At the end of the movie.
You gotta tell us. What does it say?
All right, I'll tell you. It says feel.
Think?
No.
Do?
Feel. What?
I don't know.
Come on.
Positive?
Well, it says feel good.
Okay, sure.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
So focus on what you want. Feel good, feel
Yes.
positive emotions, have a physiology of excellence. But really, ultimately, like if you remember nothing from this interview, feel good. Your goal should be to feel good.
Sure.
You should always be trying to feel positive emotions. You should let nothing disturb your balance that it creates not a positive emotion,
Okay.
a negative emotion or a response. If you spent your life doing that, which by the way would require you to focus on what you want, have a physiology of excellence,
Yep.
you'd have everything you wanted. So it really was a secret.
Yeah.
But you're a physical person, so in order to have physical results, you have to move your physical body to get them. So
Right.
the action's critical. And people missed that, and I think they thought they just needed to like visualize, which by the way you must.
Yeah. But it's part of it, not the whole picture.
Yes,
Yeah.
but honestly, if you spent your life focused on how you were feeling,
Yeah.
okay? And I wrote about the Institute of Heart Math in
Yep.
there. These guys, they're brilliant. I don't know what else to say.
Okay.
And that's they're quantifying all of that. Like it's brilliant work. And so emotions are so unbelievably powerful because of what emotions are made up of. The frequencies they resonate at, they're like the highest frequencies that we could possibly resonate at.
Okay.
And I know that sounds a little woo, but our brain, like it's easy. I could hook you up to a brain scan right now and we'd see the frequencies.
Right.
That's not
Yeah.
freaking anybody out.
Right.
Emotions impact how high that frequency resonates.
Okay.
So you want that to be as high as possible.
Yeah.
And so how you do that is you focus on what you want, choose positive emotions, have physiology of excellence.
Yeah.
But then you have to take action. Because there's only one way to know if you've actually broken through,
Do it.
is to actually have something broken through.
Broken. Yes, fair enough.
Should we demonstrate
Yes, I
to
think we
people?
should.
I think it's
I've been
time.
looking forward to doing this for
right?
a while. So yeah,
I think it's time to demonstrate to people how to go from now to the next level through the obstacle by breaking through.
We're actually going to do this now. So
yeah, we're going to do it now, live.
I'm going to move the cameras.
For y'all.
I'll be right, literally 30 seconds, we'll be right back.
So I'm going to set up the wood.
We're good.
So this board is a metaphor for obstacle.
Yes.
Okay, so here's where you are now. Next level.
Show them, not me.
So this is where you want to go. Next level. Okay. So this is in the way.
Yes.
So now let me show you how by just doing those three things, right, with a few little nuances thrown in, how you break through every time. Okay. So first of all, just as a this is a little tip. Can I give a little tip right here? Okay. So 2 o'clock in the afternoon, a little lethargic. Everybody reaches for something.
Yep.
Here's a way healthier way to get some energy. It's called the fire breath. Long inhale, sharp exhale, saying the word ha.
Okay.
So it looks like this, right? And then when you do that, you'll feel all the energy in the body rise.
Okay.
Ooh, makes my face red. Okay. So that's step one. Energize the body, right?
Yes.
Okay, so now what did we say? We said focus on what you want.
Yes.
Okay, so focusing on the next level.
Yes.
Okay, good. All right, positive emotion. So look up, smile. Good, got my positive emotion.
Yep.
Now, I got that internal dialogue going right now.
Yes.
So I'm going to change the sound to Daffy Duck or Donald Duck or something. But then I'm actually going to replace it with a mantra for the board.
Yes.
Our mantra is going to be wet noodle.
Wet noodle.
So wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle. Just to jam the dialogue.
Right.
In your head. I don't know if maybe you don't have the voices in your head, but
sure, yeah.
some people do.
I think most of us do.
Right, the blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
So we're just going to jam. That's what a mantra is, by the way.
Yes.
It jams the dialogue.
Yes.
So wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle replaces anything we could be saying.
Okay.
Now, let me ask you a question. What's our goal?
Our goal is to get through the board.
Right.
Yes.
Because most people focus on the obstacle.
Yes.
See, but I want us to focus on the floor.
Okay.
So if you see your hand at the floor, if that's your goal, that's the last step, what happened to the board?
It got out of the way?
It's broken. So when people are doing goal setting, they do goal setting, but they don't do goal getting. See, I teach goal getting.
Right.
Goal getting is about being focused on the last thing that has to happen so that the way you wanted it to happen happens.
Right.
So in this case, it's our hand on the floor.
It's not breaking the board, it's getting...
No, the board has nothing to do with it. It's just in the way.
Yep.
This is about getting our hand on the floor.
Yes.
Okay, so that's different. And I want everybody, call me if you don't get this, because this is critical to goal getting. This is why all the accidents on Everest happen on the way down. Because most people are focused to getting to the top, and then they got to get down, and their neurology is done. They're like, oh, we got the goal, we're done.
Yeah.
And so that's why it happens. Okay, so seriously.
Yep.
This is serious.
Absolutely.
Okay, so see your hand on the floor. That's your goal.
Yep.
Okay, good. We did our energy.
Yes.
Good. Focus on what you want. There it is. Okay. Feel positive emotion. Good. Wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle. And then I just have to be in the physiology to break a board, which means I got to be low enough that my hand can hit the floor, right? Mm-hmm. So wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle. Just like that.
Just like that.
Okay. So now, but I do this all the time, right?
Right.
Look at, I even broke the knot right out of it.
That's amazing.
That's awesome. Okay, so now I do this all the time, but you don't.
I have never done this before. No.
Okay,
Yeah.
so this is what you want.
This is the goal, yeah.
Right here?
Yes.
What does that say?
1,000 workshop.
And you want that
I
super,
want that.
super
Absolutely.
bad.
Yes, I
super
do.
bad.
Super bad. I want
Super
that.
bad.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly do fire breath.
Okay, so it's...
Good. Now, come on over here and set up.
Yes.
Okay, and get your body set up, and we're just going to do a little practice run.
Don't do this at home. Go to Gina's
No,
class.
don't do this. Absolutely don't do this at home.
Yes.
But show me your hand.
Yes.
Good. Make your fist.
Yes.
Okay, good. And then let's just practice twice. Okay, good. And one more time. Good.
Okay.
Now, you're focusing on what you want, right?
Yep.
Look up, smile. Okay. Get nice and low.
Yep.
Say wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle,
wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle, wet noodle.
And then take action, my friend.
That feels amazing.
Hey?
That's a lot of fun.
So by following the steps, you had a breakthrough.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, did you tell them? Did you think you were going to be able to do this?
Beforehand, no. Gina told me I was doing this, and I was terrified.
He had about 6 minutes.
Yeah.
of prep.
So exactly, but no, that was awesome.
So focus on what you
Want
choose, what kind of emotions,
positive emotions,
and have a physiology of
success.
excellence,
Yep.
and then
Take action.
see, if you don't take action, the board never breaks.
Well, exactly. You can't will it to break. You have to actually do it. So awesome. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Gina, as
So,
always, thanks.
accelerate the breakthrough.
I love it. Thank you. And we got lots of links down below where you can check out the rest of Gina's stuff. So I encourage you to do so. It's neat work. So Gina, thanks again.
Bye.